Namaste. I want to share some really good news with y'all. One of my long-term students, about 2 or 3 years we've known each other, in Germany, just realized the self. I've been working with this guy, and he's really been a very good student. I'm so happy I could dance, honestly. He had been even in a mental institution. He was in so much mental suffering and conflict. And he was studying Buddha's teaching. His therapist was also a Buddhist ex-monk. And he was studying very sincerely. He sent donations. He did some seva. He was sending me like 100 euros a month or so for quite some time. And he did his homework, which is the theme of today's video. He went back and studied the Buddha's original teachings quite closely with the help of someone who knows Pali and so on, and did a lot of meditation. So he only had some small misunderstandings. And then today we were chatting on Facebook, and he finally opened up a little bit and received the teaching. He got it. And I'm just so happy to see his happiness and his immense relief from this mental disturbance that was crippling him for so many years. So I'm telling you, this teaching works. It worked on me. I was a Buddhist monk for like 5 years. And even though I went through all the path realizations and all the jhanas and all this, I still wasn't satisfied. I still didn't feel complete until I came to India again and started looking into Ramana Maharshi's teachings. And within just a few months, I got it. Now, it took some more time to work everything through, but now after 1.5 years or so, I feel really solid, comfortable, and even starting to feel empowered. And I'm so happy that one of my students finally got it. I have to say that he was the first. I've had some spectacular failures with disciples and students in the past. And it's just so wonderful to see somebody get it, And I'm just so happy for him. I was crying tears of joy. I still am, And but the reason why he got it, how he got it, was that he did his homework. He wasn't content to have just a superficial acquaintance with the Buddha's teaching. He dove deep. He went back to the original sutras. He learned Pali, and he learned the philosophy really well over a couple of years. And then all it took was a little prompting in the style of Ramana, and he got it. He realized it right on Facebook Messenger. Oh, it's too much. It's party time. So, what about you? When are you going to realize it? When are you going to drop your suffering? You're going to have to do your homework. Just watching these videos isn't enough, And if somebody says, oh, just attend my workshop, like that guy, what's his name? Fuji, or something like that. Just spend $1,500 to attend my weekend workshop, and you can come and sit on my lap like Santa Claus. And and you'll get enlightened. Bullshit. It's just a waste of time and money. You have to do the work. You have to go in and understand those teachings, investigate, and then look into yourself. Clear up all your misunderstandings, get the theory, understand the theory intellectually, and then put it into use on your own self. Go into your own mind and observe your experience and see how everything happens just the way it's described. And then one day, maybe it could be something somebody says, or it could be something that happens that triggers you, and boom, you suddenly get it. Oh my God, this is real. Wow. And you just feel all this suffering and all the mental garbage accumulated over many, many years just falls away, and you're like, oh, yeah. This is self-realization. It's not dry. It's not serious, Well, it is serious in the sense that you have to put the work in. That's all. You have to have a very strong intention. And you have to be willing to follow someone who can really give you guidance. Who can sort out your troubles, your problems, correct your mistakes, who can take care of any wrong views that you may have, and put you on the path and motivate you. And the best motivation, of course, is seeing others' successes. That, wow, he attained it, right? I can attain it too. I'm just an ordinary guy, just a regular slob from New Jersey. And I attained it. Yes, it was a lifelong search. But look where I started from. Sitting in the church the weekend before Easter, watching my parents decorate the altar with lilies and stuff when I was 3 years old. And looking at the stained glass window and seeing, the stained glass picture of Jesus in the garden. He's kneeling by the rock and praying, and the light is coming down, He's not wearing sunglasses, though. Here, the light is so intense that I have to wear sunglasses or my eyes start to hurt. But anyway, Jesus is kneeling there, and I realized, wow, he's talking with God. And my very next thought was, if he can do it, I can do it, because he said so in the Bible. Whatever I'm doing, you can do also, and you can do even better than me, he says. Right there in the Bible. You're never going to hear that on the Sunday sermon, are you? No, they don't make that quote. But that's really what he said, or at least that's what the Bible records. I think they missed most of what he said, but anyway, they got that one. So, okay, if he's talking with God, I can talk with God too. And I very, very quickly realized I need somebody to show me how. I'm just a little boy. I'm only 3 years old. What do I know, right? So I started searching for a teacher. And that search took 24 years until I was 27 years old. That's when I realized, met, and finally accepted my guru, my Adi Guru, first guru, initiating guru. And when I met him, actually I had met him 3 or 4 years before, but I wasn't ready to surrender and become a disciple. And when I finally got to the point that I can't deal with this anymore, I need a real teacher. I'm ready to give up my life as a musician and all the drugs, sex, rock and roll, and everything that went with it. That I'm ready to give up this life, that I attained what I wanted, and I was still miserable. So if there's any hope for me, it's in accepting this teaching. And to do that, I need to actually approach him and live with him. He has to show me how to do it. So the first thing I did before approaching him again, I was introduced to him in 1967 by my music teacher, Ali Akbar Khan. And then in 1970, I started to say, no, this isn't working. I got to become a disciple. So what did I do? I got all of his books. This was before, camcorders or even Walkman. And the only way to get his teaching was through his books. So I purchased all his books, a complete set. And I remember I spent about a month and a half in my apartment all alone going through those books. And I mean, I read every single word. I looked up the words I didn't know in a dictionary. I learned how to chant the Sanskrit, everything. I went deep into his books for a long time. I'm a fast study. If you don't understand how that's possible, you should watch Matrix Learning Series. I used those techniques, and I went through a stack of volumes on erudite Sanskrit philosophy in about a month and a half. Then I felt, okay, I understand the teaching, at least in theory, at least intellectually, I understand his teaching. Now I have to go learn the practical. So I went to his nearest center, his nearest temple, and I just surrendered myself. I said, here I am. What do you want me to do? I wound up working in the kitchen. So that's how I learned to cook, and that's how I learned how to live as a sadhu. I was 27 years old. And a couple of years later, I went to India, and I learned from him personally, directly, and served him personally, directly. That is the way to approach a guru. Not that you just fire off a casual email like, hi, how you doing? Hey, I'm like this and my life is like that and blah, 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 blah. No. First, watch the videos. If I was still writing books, I'd advise you to read my books. But the books that I wrote were under the dualistic system, and I don't support them anymore. So watch the videos. The videos are all based on phenomenology, direct experience, not theory. So watch the videos beginning with the Foundation series, then Matrix Learning, then Being Integrity, then Being in the World. These are all the playlists. You can go look on the playlist page of my profile. And after that, I think there's several series on Buddha's teaching, which you need to go through. And then finally, Ramana Maharshi's teaching, Uladu Narpadu, Upadesha Undiyar, and others. And that will give you the theory, that will give you the philosophical background. But you still need to do some seva. Don't approach a guru empty-handed. Make some offering. My friend in Germany sent money, which he could barely afford to do. He sent for months. And then later on, like I said, he went through the Buddha's teaching really closely, really deeply, practiced it too. And now he got the result. So you can get the result too. I want you to get the result. I want you to be free from suffering, but you have to do the work. I can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to learn the system, get it verified by somebody who knows, and then do the work to save yourself. Those were the Buddha's last words. Work on yourself with enthusiasm. Om Tat Sat. Om Harihi Om.